Welcome to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Pitalico and Michael Barkan. We knew the Phillies' win streak would end at some point or another. I just didn't think it was going to end the way it ended today, Ricky Bo, with Matt Stum on the mound. The guy's been certainly a solid reliever for the Phils. And then you had Jesus Luzardo pitching well enough to win. He had a solid start after some shaky beginnings, and they just deserved a better fate, it would seem.
I mean, let's put this out there. Luzardo in that first inning was really bad. I mean, throwing a lot of pitches right over the middle of the plate. He wasn't spotting his fastball. He wasn't throwing his sweeper or his changeup very well in that inning. Everything was up in the zone. Michael, you do that against a single-A team, they're going to hit you around. And, you know, the A's, one thing you have to do is stay out of the middle of the plate, and you could be okay. And next thing you know, I mean, there's 3 runs tacked on in the first, and you're saying to yourself, this might be an ugly game. This has the chance to be one of those games where the Phillies absolutely get blown out of the water. Instead, Luzardo went in, fixed things, came back, really kind of took over with his sweeper, and then that opened up his four-seam fastball back up. But, you know, you give Luzardo a lot of credit. I mean, what do you say about Stum? He's been good all year. Sooner or later, you're going to have some games where you're just not yourself. And this was one of them. Stum again, same type of situation. Way too much of the plate he gave the A's.
Yeah, there are times when the game's in the balance, though, and there are times when their games are really in the balance. And when you're clinging to a 1-run lead, Matt Stum on the mound in the bottom of the 8th. And this is really where it all starts as Davidson walks. And remember that, because the very next at-bat, he will score. Butler with a triple to right. And as Tom McCarthy said, the field seemed to be lengthening as Castellanos went for the ball.
Well,
There's
it was.
The triple.
He got the ball before the warning track, and he kept running all the way to the corner of the wall. It was another 50 feet. So it gave the A's the opportunity, number 1, to score, and number 2, for Clark to go all the way to third base. And that was a problem. You get a runner on third, less than 2 outs. There's a good chance of fly ball scoring them, and that's where the Phillies ended up. I'll, give them a lot of credit, a lot of hustling. A lot of mistakes made on this play. I think Castellanos running all the way to the corner was the problem, and Stott should have thrown the ball to third base, not to home.
And then in an all-new MacGyver, there's a shot by Willie MacGyver, and that plates the go-ahead run, soon to be the winning run. And I thought, I don't know if they're coming back from this one.
Again, way too much of the plate. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about it's right over the middle, but he does throw out over the plate where you can get the barrel to it. MacGyver gets his barrel to it. Next thing you know, this game completely flip-flopped in 1/2 of an inning.
Yeah, it did. And when you look at 9 games by the boards, a 9-game win streak by the Phillies, certainly sensational. That is snapped today. And as well, the
you know what, though?
streak
Life
by the
just
A's.
moves on.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't be that mad at this. I mean, you look at last night's game, Philly should have lost last night's game. They didn't. They pulled that one out from the fire, ended up winning the game. Today, I mean, it was just one of those games where it got away from them early. They fought back, got back into a good position. Trey Turner hits that big home run on a breaking ball on a first pitch. And next thing you know, it's like everything just crumbled.
Yeah.
And you had a feeling this one wasn't going to bring many miracles.
But the worst part is they dangle that carrot out there for us in the top of the 9th inning. Check this out with Johan Rojas pinch running on first base. There's 2 outs. Kepler had gone down, ground ball 3-1. Real Muto struck out, and then this as Rojas tries to steal second. And it looked like maybe they might overturn it, but you see they got him, as you had said, Ricky Bo.
He got him on the elbow. He was out. There's no doubt about it. He was out trying to swipe that bag so a single gets the game all tied up. But
any issue with that move?
No, it's a bullet. It was a bullet that was thrown. It was a good throw down to second base. It was an easy pitch to handle. It was up and away, so all the catcher has to do is stand up, fire down to second base, and you got yourself an opportunity. They get Rojas ball game over. I mean, there's 2 ways to play that. You leave them stationary, you try to hit a home run. I mean, that's the other way to do it.
Yeah. And
that's probably the way you would have done it.
Yeah, exactly right. Right out of there, out of that ballpark. And it happened, they tapped Mason Miller before the last 2 games. He came out there.
What are the odds? I mean, I want you to think about this. What are the odds of getting him 3 straight days?
Poor.
Well, if
Very poor.
If you steal second, I think your odds go up a little bit in that situation. Yeah. So I think that's what Rob Thompson was thinking. Rob's thinking, this guy's got great stuff. We've gotten him to him twice. We're not going to get him a third time. How do we put pressure on him? Let's steal a base.
Let's take a look at Jesus Luzardo's afternoon.
Interesting.
And this is his first inning. And this is where Ricky first pitch put in the seats.
Well, you know what? I
understand.
I understand you're trying to get ahead, but that pitch is too big, too right down the middle. And I will tell you right now, that probably looked like a beach ball coming out over the plate. And this is definitely their best hitter. I mean, Wilson can swing the bat a little bit. He's a little annoying in the batter's box, but you leave something out over the middle, he's going to get a good swing on it. It's exactly what he did.
And then Rooker
again,
with a single.
Again, four-seam fastball, way too much of the plate. All Rooker's got to do right there is just drop the head on it, and that's what he does. Andujar then comes in here, kind of gets this one a little bit off the end of the bat, ends up dropping in front of Marsh. All right, you're still not in panic mode. You're still a ground ball away from getting out of this thing.
Let's remember this. This is the Davidson double. I know we thought maybe it's going out. Max Kepler's got to catch this ball. He gave up on that. I don't know if you call it alligator body or he felt the wall or whatever. You got to get that.
He should have kept going on it. I think he thought that might be going out or to the top of the wall. Instead, it hits mid-wall.
Not even mid-wall.
That's very catchable.
Right.
That's one more step. All he had to do was take one more step. Here's the other thing. Did he lose it? Did he lose that ball? He may have lost it in the sky and was just kind of knowing it went over his head, so he kind of turned on it. But I'm with you. Go as hard as you can, as long as you can.
So here's the good. This is the Eye on the Mound presented by PGW. Energy for all of us. And this is Luzardo's strikeouts. He had 10 of them all told. And this is how, at bottom of the second, Ricky Bo, he starts to settle down. That's all the runs the Athletics would get off of Jesus Luzardo the rest of his start.
Yeah, he had that sweeper really going against the left-handed hitters. They had no chance. The changeup really started to come into play. There's another sweeper down and in. I just thought once you got control of one pitch, he kind of stayed with it for a little while, which finally led to the fastball being effective later on in the ball game. And there you see it again. That sweeper to the lefties was just invisible. He was throwing a little bit of invisible ball. And, you know, when you slow them down because you're throwing so many of them, then that fastball becomes that much better. And, you know, it seemed as though Luzardo had a pretty good grasp on his adjustments and what he needed to do. Looked much better as the game went on.
He sure did. My concern now in a loss is almost the bottom line. 105 pitches to a guy who's had arm trouble and last season back trouble that curtailed his season in the month of June last year. 105 pitches, Ricky Bo, and he has thrown 100 or more pitches. Too much, or maybe not too much, because
I don't know where this
he can
stands.
handle it, but he hasn't before.
It looks as though he's not tiring in games, which would tell you that he's okay. I mean, is this something to watch later on in the season? Yeah, maybe it could be. But I think this is just a situation where what else are you going to do? You're down a reliever because of Alvarado, and you're sitting there with your starters. When they're going well, you want to keep them in there as long as you possibly can. And that's what Rob Thompson's doing right now. This is kind of like a going all-in situation this year. I mean, when you really think about it, you need these guys down the stretch, but you also have plenty of backups if something goes wrong right now.
I just find it interesting because Rob Thompson is one, as was his predecessor, Joe Girardi, all about the players and the players' health, and I'm not going to push anybody too hard if I think it's going to compromise them. And we've seen him take it easy, as did Girardi on certain players. I didn't want to push him too hard, and now Luzardo's going 100-plus pitches, start after
and he's
start.
Been letting him go. He's been letting him go a lot. I mean, maybe he just feels like he's that strong, physically strong. He looks like he's in great shape, so hopefully his arm just could hold up. I know people say, you keep doing that, he's going to get hurt. You keep doing, well, maybe not. Maybe he's one of those guys that could actually handle it. There's not a ton of them. Zach Wheeler's kind of one of them. And I think maybe they think he is. And
as we continue, we will hear Rob Thompson speak on this very subject. The 100-plus pitches, 105 today, thrown by Jesus Luzardo, and whether or not he's pushing him too hard. As we continue, Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance.